spiritual awakening or victim mentality?
Yeah. I'm inspired. I'm inspired.
Hey there guys, how's it going? My name is Sumedh Chatterjee from the Flow Zone Academy, and I'm a flow state coach, which means that I help you feel better and perform better. Today we're talking all about spiritual awakening, aka victim mentality. What do I mean by this? You see, a lot of people who've claimed to have gone through a spiritual awakening list all of these toxic traits, all of these negative principles, all these limiting beliefs. Do you really think just because you lost all of your friends that you're now enlightened? Do you think just because your friends and family call you absolutely bonkers that you've gone through a spiritual awakening? Do you really think, man, that just because you can't work a real job anymore that you've had a spiritual awakening? Okay, let's stop right here. Let's stop right here. Yes, okay, you see through the illusions of society now. Congratulations, okay? But how about you get your life back in order? How about that? Because your awakening, quote unquote, is not the cause of all this toxic behavior and toxic environment in your life. After you go through an awakening, generally you want things to get better, not worse. But I see a lot of people preaching this storyline that nobody likes me anymore, I'm completely isolated, I can't go out anymore. Okay? No. Cut that out. Your spiritual awakening can be very subtle. You don't need to go through a vast peak experience to know the effectiveness of spirituality. Yes, I agree with you. Spiritual awakening is not some fluffy, sunshine, cotton candy, rainbow cloud. I get it. I get it. I've been through it myself. Actually, more than once, maybe multiple times, you know? I don't say that to like brag or whatever, you know what I mean? I've actually gone through dark nights of the soul where I've confronted some of the darkest parts of myself and transmuted them, right? And after each one, there was a breakthrough, or some would say a spiritual awakening. Okay, how do you define what a spiritual awakening is? Okay, that's another thing. If you're defining awakening as your life's gone completely haywire, that's probably not a healthy mentality, is it? Oh yes, you see, I'm an ascended master now, but my life is completely in shambles. I started to follow my passion, which was collecting comic books. And I collected all the comic books in the world, but I was still oh so lonely. Listen, man, you are a social being, you're an emotional creature. You gotta interact with others, right? So right after a spiritual awakening, if you're just like, I'm gonna completely isolate, look, solitude is needed. Silence is needed. Going into your humble abode is needed. However, there's gotta come a time where you get over that. There's gotta come a time where you start exploring your new life. A new page has turned, a new chapter. And some of you, you're posting lots of spiritual memes, but you're not even spiritual. What's going on? Spirituality is connecting with the non-physical, okay? The non-physical realms. Are you connecting with that? Do you have a practice? Are you cultivating that seed? Are you watering that plant within? Anytime someone can't understand you, they're gonna put a label on you. Oh, he's new age. Oh, he's cult. Oh, he's narcissist, right? Depending on what tribe you belong to, you're gonna put a label on it. And that judgment is captivity for you because you can't allow the flow state to actually take over. You see, judgment is just a byproduct of tension. No tension, no judgment. Just because you are this toxic person now doesn't mean you've gone through a spiritual awakening. That's what I wanted to say to you, okay? If anything, enlighten means to lighten up. It means you feel more free. It means you feel more expansive. If you feel like a reclusive member of society, there's probably something messed up in that thinking. Or you're still conditioned under the lens of spirituality. Spirituality is conditioning you. Or the construct of spirituality in the media or the world around you. You're conforming to certain standards that might not make sense for you, but you're still doing it just to fit in. Oh, but I don't really do tarot. I mean, does that make me spiritual? Yeah. Oh, but I don't really collect 500 crystals. Is that fine? Yeah. You can still be spiritual. But I own a multi-million-dollar business. Is that yoga stuff really for me? Yeah. Absolutely. Why wouldn't it be? Why wouldn't it be? Why wouldn't you connecting with source energy be appropriate for you? I don't understand. Okay? Well, I do understand from your perspective. I just don't understand from my world. You see, because spirituality has saved my life. And it can do the same thing for you. You got to put it into application. And you can't get into this victim blaming mode of like, oh, it's everybody else's fault, you know? I'm fine, I'm spiritually awakened, but everybody else, you know, they're wrong. Okay, don't get into that. That's actually anti-spiritual. That judgment, that pointing fingers, it's not worth it. It's not worth your time, energy, and money to do something like that. Get into an abundance mentality. That's what spirituality is. That's what you got to feel after an awakening. A new expanded sense of self where you're now peering into the edge of your future, where you're high-fiving your higher self. Come on, man. Yeah, yeah, that's right. That is it. That's the energy. So if you want this energy, you've got to, first of all, do the practices, embody the teachings. You probably read something that the Dalai Lama said, but it whizzed over your head. How about we put that idea into practice? Why not become a mystic scientist with this? Because this is what I did. I made myself into a social experiment, into a spiritual experiment. Experiment. You want to concentrate all of your skill set into becoming the best you, not staying stuck in victim mode and self-sabotage. You know, I'm so woke that no one likes me. You know, did you know that? I'm not relatable at all. I just talk about vague spiritual ideas. Am I at the higher rung of the ladder yet? Am I at bliss yet? Hey, I might be triggering a lot of you people who've gone through a spiritual awakening. You're like, my life is shit now. No, it doesn't have to be. You see, the doors have just opened. You just haven't walked through. It's like you opened a bunch of doors, right? And you just left them open. And the wind is breezing in from those worlds. And you're going, what the heck is going on? I'm so confused. You need to actually walk into those worlds. So if Thich Nhat Hanh tickled your spine, you've got to actually explore what is that meaning? Through your experience, through your living. Don't use spiritual awakening as a crutch or as an excuse for people to prove to them that you've changed. Oh no, but I've changed. I've gone through an awakening, bro. You're still the same person. Maybe your habits are different. Maybe your ideas are different. Maybe you've done a lot of reprogramming work. You're still the same person. You're just a better version. It's just an unlayering process. It's not an adding on process. It's not, let me do this modality. Let me try this different fringe therapy. Let me put this umbrella on top of it. Don't use spiritual awakening as an excuse for you to not show up and take action. Don't use spiritual awakening as a way to justify your victim mentality. Don't do it around me, at least. Not me and my friends. Fuck no. However, I understand and I'm empathetic because I've been there. And you will surprise yourself. You can get out of that darkness. You're not supposed to live there. You're supposed to comprehend that world and let your aura guide you. Not be hypnotized by an idea of what spirituality should be and getting confined by it. It's up to you to live in abundance, and it's up to you to change around any of these labels. that people want to put on you. You're not crazy. You're absolutely fine. And in fact, you're better off going through that incredible roller coaster experience. So let's get it today. Upward Spiral Gang, may we never be the same again. May the flow be with you and stay legendary. You better hit that fucking notification bell.